Good evening, everyone. Here we are at the Londonderry View, our special edition where we talk about different articles. That's what we're going to be sharing next, and also our candidates have been on. So we'd like to welcome our Kathy Wagner, who's going to be talking to us a little bit about Article 2. So
yes,
thank
I'm
you,
not a
Kath.
candidate, thank God. I wouldn't want to be a candidate in today's world, but yeah, I'm here. I'm currently the sitting town treasurer, and we have an article on the warrant this year. It's Article 2, and it was on the warrant last year, and it unfortunately failed by less than 100 votes. And I don't think people understood what it really was. And so I'm trying to make that clear to you that this is nothing about getting rid of the town treasurer. This is nothing about, making something different that hasn't been around for hundreds of years. But as the world evolves, so do our positions. I mean, all of us could be afraid of AI in a year or two from now, they're talking about that AI is going to take over. I'm not saying the treasurer isn't a important position. I'm not saying that it's historically it's valuable, and Londonderry is very historic, and we should keep those traditions.
Right.
But however, and I say that with a little remorse, but however, it's time for a change. And I know people don't like change. It's really hard to accept change, and people don't want to acknowledge change, but it's time. So what we're asking in the warrant, to break it down very simple, but we have to write warrants according to laws, and so they're a lot
They're
more
hard to understand.
complicated
Yeah.
and very hard to understand. Exactly. Is that instead of being elected, it's appointed. It's appointed every year, and it is appointed by the town council. And I know a lot of people have fear that the town council's gotten too powerful and all this other. Just so everybody understands, the treasurer can't do anything without the approval of the town council. Every resolution that comes through is on the deeming of the town council. I cannot expend any funds without the town council's authority. So it's kind of like a moot point that, like, if I'm elected or appointed, I'm gonna be like this powerful woman in town that's like, I'm the town treasurer and you get no money.
That's right. And presently, I should have started with it. You are our town treasurer of Londonderry, and we're lucky to have you. We appreciate all you do.
So it's kind of like, I looked at it this way. I have done it for, I think, 15 to 18 years. I don't know. It just keeps going and going and going. And I don't mind it. It's a great position, and I'm honored to be of service of the town. But that's the key word here, everyone. I'm in service to the community I represent. I think in the last 3 years, I'm really discouraged because there's no more service here. It's all about agenda. And the argument at the deliberative session was, oh, if we, the person that's going to get appointed can steal and be just as corrupt as somebody gets elected. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is an agenda. And I have never seen more agenda-driven politics in this community than I have in the last 2 years. And I personally applaud anyone that has the courage to put up with the baloney that's going on right now.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
Good luck.
thank you.
I mean, you're getting
Yeah.
criticized for things you don't even do, but that's because people can do it,
That's exactly. You say
You're
it's
an
true.
elected official.
Yeah.
I mean, why would anybody want to run anymore? I can remember, okay, this is like none of you people who are, well, maybe some of you people that are watching, I don't know, I shouldn't be so broad in my statement. We never had Republicans and Democrats. It was always just people in the town. There was no party. It was like I just wanted to serve, and unfortunately, that got taken out of the mix. Yeah, good word. And I can remember there were so many times after town meeting, the old town meeting, which people, if we could
Was
do
wonderful.
a story on that, you would love it. The old town meeting, fighting with somebody across the other aisle, and then saying, "Okay, town meeting's done. Let's go to Whippersnappers."
Whippersnappers,
Which
that's
is now La Coretta's,
La
right?
Coretta's, right?
And everybody would be down at town hall. We probably shouldn't say this, but we were all having a good time because after town meeting.
And you all got
So-
along and supported,
right,
loved
right.
each other.
So it stopped. It stopped at the meeting, and it stopped in the personal relationships, and it stopped in just the beauty of the town. It doesn't stop anymore.
No, it doesn't, Kath, yeah.
I mean, people are so just rude. I guess that's the word.
Rude and angry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rude and angry.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
So what do you think? What do you think about the town treasurer?
I don't
The
know.
article too.
Well, I know
I've
that-
looked into it, but I don't know. I don't want to say which way I'm voting, but I've looked into it quite a bit, and I think I know exactly what I'm going to say on the ballot this time,
Well,
because
you-
I didn't get it last time.
Yeah, that was
So,
the problem the last time. People really didn't understand
Right.
it. And I believe I can say this safely, that Justin and you have discussed this and share the same view
Right.
on it
Right.
strongly, because at many of the council meetings, you've shared your views and tried to present it in different ways.
Yes.
But two of the extremely important people are supporting this, that have the knowledge, the background, the experience. How many years? 17, 18?
I think
yeah.
I'm going to be 18
Yeah.
next
So,
year.
so I think we do our homework, whether it's for candidates or for articles, do the best you can to find out, get educated, listen to the experts that are in the positions, and then make an educated decision on these things. Because
You have to. But I guess a couple things that I want to relay to the community is that there are 15 communities, and I got this from Justin today, so I'm just relaying this stuff. I have a little piece of paper, and I don't usually use a little piece of paper, but I couldn't remember all the names because I try to keep things in my head. Being a town treasurer, you got to know numbers, so you got to keep things in your head. Justin and I talked today, and the top 15 population centers in the state of New Hampshire, Londonderry's ranked number 9 as population in the state. Of those 15 top population centers, only Salem and Londonderry still have an election for treasurer. Everyone appoints.
Derry, Litchfield, Merrimack, yeah.
Oh, good. Manchester, Nashua,
I do my homework.
Concord, Dover, Rochester, Laconia, Goffstown, Portsmouth, Keene, Bedford, Merrimack, and as Terry said, Derry. Bless you.
Yes, yeah.
You're right.
Yep, yeah.
Derry, and so we're kind of not leading the way here. I'm sorry, but we brag about everything we do, and we've kind of lost touch with maybe it's time to reevaluate this position.
To not eliminate, to simply reevaluate.
right.
going
And that's all it is. And I think the fear, so today I read the statutes, right? Again, because I was trying to think, okay.
The RSA.
And I got to be really careful how I say this, so I apologize, but we had an incident in town where someone was elected and we couldn't remove them, even though the whole community wanted them, removed. And you can't, because they're elected.
Right.
And that person could have stayed out their term till the end, no matter how much of an uproar there was because they were elected. And I think that it kind of made, the only way I looked at the statute, this is how old the rules are with this position. If I don't make the deposits on time, the council can remove me. Think about that. I don't make
No,
the deposits.
I was working on that this morning. That's what we
Yeah.
do. All the money comes in, we take care of it, and we have a courier that comes and takes care of the
Yeah.
Right,
deposit.
so that was the old time.
Oh
you know,
my
when
God.
It's still
the
written that way,
treasurer
yeah.
would get all the deposits. And it was all about theft and, you know, if you didn't come in and stuff.
Right.
And that's
That's
why I
fascinating.
keep going back to the statement that this isn't about theft. This isn't about, it is about character, because no matter what your character is, if you're going to steal whether you're elected or steal whether
And
you're
someone
appointed.
that point was brought up,
Right,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to do that. But it's all about, it's antiquated. It's time for it to be reevaluated. Here's the positives. It's appointed. Anybody can put their
Anybody.
name. Anybody. They don't have to go through the grueling election period. They don't have to put their family up for ridicule because elections allow that. The council can do a background check,
Which you can't do with election.
right, which you can't do with an election. The council can reappoint every year. So if someone's
Not showing
showing
up or,
or
yeah,
fulfilling
doing
their
what they're
duties,
supposed to
right?
do.
Say thank you.
And and the only negative I can see is somebody with an agenda can't get elected.
Right. Because we vote for the town council, whichever way it goes. We have the town council, and they are the people that make the decision, which is why I voted for them. Because I don't have the time to sit there and analyze everything
That's
about the
right.
town. So I'm requiring them to do that, and that's what you lean towards. So I don't understand what the problem is with
Right.
doing it.
I mean, when you
know?
think about it and really
Yeah.
think about it, it should be.
Truly, or and,
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't, you know,
because it is antiquated, as you said, and even
Yeah.
though we love the history and the, where it came from, but very true. And I also do like that when, let's say, 3 people are coming up before the council, you can check their background, and I don't mean their background, good or bad, but what's their interest to have? Do they have any kind of finance interest?
Right.
Administration, what is it? What's their background to want to do
Right,
this?
right.
Because if you have a choice between it, then you can make maybe a different choice or a better choice.
so the thing is, you want to keep it,
I definitely want
or
to
keep it the way it is.
I want to keep it. I just
As
don't
an
want it
appointed.
as an appointed, and I would like it. And as I said, it deliberative. I really believe it belongs to a citizen of Londonderry.
Right.
That was a
Not-
very
that
good
was,
point,
I think
yeah.
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's-
don't want
I
it
totally
to be
agree
a
with that.
town employee. No
No.
offense,
No,
No,
100%.
I
You have
think
to
so,
keep
100%,
different
yeah.
checks and balances. That's
Yeah.
important. No, that's
Because you're right, in the appointment category, okay. I happened to, a long time ago, be an advocate for the Londonderry Marching Band, okay? I did a really nice favor for Mr. Susi.
Andy Susi. Good
I
man.
made them look very nice when they went into parades. I was very much involved with the advocacy for the Warren article to get the new
Oh,
uniforms.
the new uniforms.
When I ran, Friends of Music is a big voting block. So I could have just said, and I'm not picking on Friends of Music. I'm just trying to make this a point. So I was very, very, very active in the community and very popular. Let's say I was I hate the town of Londonderry, but I'm very popular. I have no skills whatsoever in accounting, but because I ran and my name was out there and everybody said, "Oh, I know Kathy Wagner.
Sure,
I'm just going to check
exactly.
that
Check it
off."
off, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, kind of like all the politicians in the federal world that are dead and they still win because,
Yeah.
oh, I know that name from someplace and
Yeah.
that's who I'm supposed to vote for. And that's why I think when you're building well, I shouldn't say building, that's when you have a position that's in charge of $100 million. And you're paying me a whopping $2,500 a year, which I think the stipend should be counted. But who in their right mind as a company is going to hire somebody for $2,500? And who in their right mind is going to apply to a job for $2,500?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So you're gonna get whatever you get.
Yeah.
At least with the appointment, like you said, Sherry, you can look into
Yeah.
not only maybe they have financial, but I really love my community. I am involved in these other organizations.
Right.
I care about, you know,
Yeah.
this, and I care about that, and my grandkids are here, and you know, just a lot of areas you don't get into. And the only reason why the town treasurer is becoming important is because we're trying to change something.
Right.
I mean,
Nobody
truly,
really talked about it before. Nobody
I've
just.
said a word for 20, 30 years. And it was always like, oh, does anybody want to be the town treasurer? Can you sign up to be the town treasurer? When I was here 30 years ago, the only person I could have told you was the town treasurer was Betsy McKenna and oh God, I can't think of his name, and I love him to death. And he did the fields all the time. Lincoln, Bob Lincoln.
Bob Lincoln.
And
God
I
bless.
mean, those are and I was just like, oh my God, you know, think about it. 30 years, and I'm like trying to think who the town treasurer was outside. And Betsy was before that.
I didn't
and
know
Betsy
Betsy
was,
did that.
Oh yeah, and Betsy was, and everybody needs to vote for Betsy for trustee of the library because I love her. But and I'm sorry, this is not supposed to be political, but she's a good lady. She knows everything. And she deserves it. And that's another story of agenda-driven politics, is what's going on there. 8 people running for the library. We couldn't even find a dog.
Yeah.
So we know the agenda politics have unfortunately arrived in Londonderry. So,
No,
but-
that's,
Yeah.
so I mean that's where I stand. But the other thing is I wanted to get into is I'm shocked by the anomaly that's happening in the community too, is that the treasurer's budget has changed so dramatically from just doing the day-to-day operations of the town into a legal battle. I mean, you know, 91A is a fabulous law. It was put in for all the right reasons, but I don't get what's going on here. I mean, it is at a point where it is the cost of the continual attacks on our government for frivolous, or I should say agenda-driven reasons again, is at a point where I can confidently say it is becoming a burden on the taxpayers of this community.
absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, you guys tell, well,
Oh.
you're not there, so you two tell me what happens.
Constantly.
I know,
Yeah.
but what happens?
Oh,
Like, what do you have to do?
when I
It's,
w-
research
Oh, my
is
goodness.
a lot of
Yeah.
man hours
And,
going into those.
I'll get them, and then I have to go through them, and we have our records in the back, and then you may have to search for hours. Luckily, we have our Kirsten Hildenheim, we have our town manager, Mike Malaguti, and others, but all of their time and effort, and then not to mention, it ultimately has to feed through the town attorney,
and
which cost,
they make
it
a
could
lot
be,
an hour.
I can't even imagine how much an hour, but that's what you have to do, because they can simply put in a 91A, and it can be just, whoop, here it is. There's no skin in the game, honestly. I want to know this, and everyone has a right to it, but then it has to filter through the system, because there is no room for error with us. We have to get it right, and that's how it ends up with our town attorney, which we pay, as is well deserved, a lot of money to. And who pays for that? The taxpayers.
Right.
And I don't think people are aware of that, and I think we need transparency with that too. If you're going to write one, then put your name out there for it, you know?
I feel like 91A has become weaponized.
Right.
Yeah, sadly, very
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Like it's
a
not
gotcha.
being used as
Yeah,
what
it
it was
definitely
What
supposed
was
to
the
be.
intention? The
Right,
intention
yeah,
was
right.
totally
It has a
different. yeah.
place in good faith.
I feel like it is totally a weapon for certain individuals to try to get back at the town or the community or whatever their agenda, back to that key word, agenda,
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So it is. It is probably a very sad state of affairs. And I look at, and that's part of the reason why, I mean, it was my mistake last year when it first came on the ballot, and thank you for being completely honest. when you said,
Yeah, I didn't really understand what the
it."
difference would
And
be,
a
you
lot
know?
of
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
have,
Right.
a
Yeah.
lot of people have said that.
Yeah.
Like, people did not understand that, oh, we're not getting rid of the treasurer. We're just making it from elected to appointed.
Exactly, right.
And it's, and for people to believe that the position's authority is going away, or it's gonna have any influence on the way the government's run, or anything, it's not.
Right.
It actually is a benefit to the community, because people who really want to service the community can,
That's true.
without putting themselves out there
Yeah.
and going through the elective process. Now, one of the arguments is, oh, if you don't do what you said, you're going to get removed from the committee. That'll be pretty hard. I know enough people that will go down to the town meeting and complain. If somebody that's doing a great job all of a
Oh,
sudden, oh, we don't like you, we're going to get rid of you, you know? I
Right.
mean, that doesn't happen and you know, and the argument is, there hasn't been a problem, so why are we changing? Well, of course there hasn't been a problem, because good people run. There could be a problem because nobody wants to run because of the atmosphere we're in. There could be a problem because we're antiquated. There could be a problem because people aren't running for the right reason.
Yeah.
So that argument to me is mute.
And other towns have already looked into that and said, wait a minute, let's change it now before we have a problem.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and this speaks to the wisdom and research they've done to get to the point where they're at, and that's important too. You know, and I kind of look at like our council, our budget committee. You know, we the people have elected them to represent us, and you alluded to this
Yeah.
before. Like
Right.
when I'm not sure of something, that's why that budget committee is there, and I respect each one of them. And
Right.
with some of these topics, I look to how they vote. Most of them, I always take notice of what they did. Our council, our budget committee. You and Justin are our experts on this. You've given your passion to it all these years. Justin, we couldn't ask for a better finance person at the top. And if you're both saying this is the direction we need to go
Right,
in because of
right.
this, well, you know,
Yeah.
I don't
that's,
even know
you
what my
know,
other side is.
flip it over.
Oh yeah. So like, one of the other thing is, I guess we just got asked for a new 91A
There you go.
from 2017.
And you can just
So you-
picture going back.
Somebody wants all the records from 2017. That's insane.
And you know how much time that's going to take? And it has to be honored. It has to be produced because someone can.
Right. Just because they can, they
Just
will.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I really am asking for everyone's vote for a yes on March 12th on Article 2. And I don't have the exact wording, but I'm asking for that vote because I think the treasurer, there's no harm in going from elected to appointed. I think it's actually better for the community at this point in the stage that we're in. And the fact that we can't get anyone to volunteer for non-appointed, you know, I mean, for Old Home Day, for
The other committees.
senior center, for, I mean, people don't want to get involved because of all the risk that it takes. And I understand time and, you know, you got a personal life and stuff, but the fact that you have to campaign and open yourself up to the legal challenges and and the fact that you are now a target for borderline slander because you're an elected official makes people double
Think.
think. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
But you did with the budget committee thing, I was still trying to figure out why they even voted on it, because it wasn't monetary. There's no money, and so the budget committee voted against the project, against the article, and I'm like thinking, oh my
I think
God.
it was half and half, or
No, it was
3.
4-3.
Oh,
4 to
was it
3,
really?
yeah.
Yeah,
they
It was
were
4 to
gonna
3,
get-
yeah.
Oh,
And
I
I was
didn't
like, I'm
notice that.
still trying to figure out why they even voted in the first place, because in the old days,
Oh, see, I didn't think they had.
I
But
thought
that's
in the
right.
old days that the budget committee
Monetary.
yeah,
For
they-
monetary, yeah.
Yeah, they
Oh.
didn't have any say in that. And I was just like,
Yeah, I look at
okay,
it-
whatever, you guys are voting.
Yeah, that's an interesting
Unfortunately,
one.
I can remember, long story short, I'm boring all the people on television. So this is how crazy Londonderry used to be, and it was a good crazy. So I will never forget, they were talking about building the new high school. And that was probably, God, what was that, Bonnie? Oh, Jesus, 20, 25 years ago?
The late 70s.
Yes,
and-
well, no, the new one.
Oh, the
New
new
one where we were gonna spend 40 million or whatever it was. And I can remember, at that time, the budget committee was truly the budget committee. And I can remember watching Andy Greco. Andy, if you're out there, good job.
Good man, good
Good
man.
man. And I can remember Andy Greco going, we are not gonna vote this. And that was the old town meeting. And Steve and I looked at each other and he goes, oh my God, the article for the high school is coming up. We gotta get down to the gym so we can vote against it. And it ended up failing. But that was one of, that was a time when I really believed in the budget committee, because they were on the budget committee because they were on the budget committee because they cared. I've noticed that the budget committee is turning into an agenda-driven committee too, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Like, you got your little clan here and your little clan there, and
It's supposed to be for
for
the greater
everybody,
good,
that's
for
for the
everybody.
greater good.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's the fear. And unfortunately, I don't want everybody appointed, but, and I like the fact that the budget committee's elected, but, it's like everybody's got to take everything with a grain of salt. Things have changed, and people have to change with
Right.
it. And that's what I'll leave it on. It's time for a change.
So Kathy, we are very appreciative and grateful that you came on to talk about one of the 22 articles that will be on the ballot, Town and School, and to bring clarity to it, because it's everyone's decision how they want to vote, but now they can make that decision with a better, clearer understanding
Yeah.
of what it means. And you as a treasurer can speak to that. So yeah, Bonnie,
And it's
definitely.
more understanding.
Yeah.
to
It
the
is,
people.
much more.
It sounded very good because now they'll understand a little more of what's going on with that.
Yeah,
Thank you so much
So
for being
thanks
here.
for coming on.
yeah, thank you, we appreciate it.